Welcome everyone, Bill Dow here. I am super excited. In this video, what I want to talk about is project managers dealing with a lack of transparency with their project resources, right? In this remote world we're in, this is such a timely and relevant topic. I thought I'd jump on here and share this. But why is this a problem? Like I said, we're doing a lot of remote project management nowadays, and project managers are struggling to understand exactly what the resources are working on. I'm not talking about micromanagement here. I'm talking about clearly assigned tasks to the resources, their priorities, getting things done on time, right? Making sure any roadblocks are removed. It's really, really important that project managers have that transparency, because this lack of transparency is leaving the project managers not knowing whether they're going to hit dates or not knowing whether the project resources are going to need roadblocks removed, right? And what can they do for them? We have very little slack in our go live days these days. We're seeing some missed dates, we're seeing longer project durations, right? Which has huge negative impacts on the experiences to our customers and delivering successful projects. And again, without that transparency, it provides little trust with the team members, little trust with the project managers, the relationships suffer, team morale suffers, and it becomes much more difficult to run a successful project. Why though? Why is that? Why do we think that there's a lack of transparency with our team members? Well, to start, project resources are working on so many different projects, right? They just simply don't have the time to provide the status to the project manager. They're too busy working on the project than to turn around and stop and then provide that status. Secondly, context switching. Right? They're starting one project, going to the other, going back to the other, going back and forth. They'd rather spend the time working on the project than actually providing that status. And that context switching alone takes time. We often underestimate how much time context switching between the two roles or between the two projects take. I also find that project resources, they don't see the value in providing that. They often see that maybe there's a little bit of micromanagement going on here, which is completely the wrong way of approaching this from a project manager perspective. But the minute the resources feel like there's micromanagement, they're going to shut down completely. So you want to really turn that around as well, right? So how do you solve this issue, right? Well, what have I done in the past? I've been doing this project management for 30 plus years. What have I done? Well, the first thing I've done is from a time tracking perspective. I think that awareness around time tracking of exactly what projects they're working on, what tasks they're working on, I think that's gone a long way in really opening up the visibility to what project resources are working on your projects. I think that's critical, and it's provided a level of data that's just been unbelievably great. Second is you have to be clear on the value of your ask. Why are you asking for this data? Right? So the project managers need to be very transparent on the why. If you're not, if the resources don't understand why you're asking the data, they're going to put their backs up. They're going to see this maybe a little bit of micromanagement here. And what they really need to understand is you're trying to remove roadblocks. You're trying to understand due dates. You're understanding if tasks will have to move, right? So there's all good intentions of why you're asking. You just got to balance that with when you're asking. Finally, time your ask. Ensure you have processes and procedures in place to be able to get this data in a light and easy manner. If project managers put heavy and taxing processes in place, it's going to turn people off completely. They're not going to give you that data, and you're going to be in that lack of transparency scenario. So these are the 3 steps I've used and I've used for years. I got a question for you. What do you think? Does that make sense? And what have you done in the past, right? Comment below. I'm really, really interested in understanding, right? Quick reminder, if you do like this story and you like these types of content and you like this material and getting my background and experiences on these types of project problems, definitely like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm releasing videos all the time, so I'd love to continue to push out information for you. My name is Bill Dow. Thank you very much, and I'll see you online.